Hello, good evening everybody. Welcome to round 9 of the North American Grand Prix GT2 Championship, coming to you live from Anderstorp in Sweden this evening. We got a great night of racing in store for everybody tonight, but before we go any further, let me welcome my broadcast partner tonight, Brad Maris. Brad, welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Al. Here in the other Great White North, I guess you could say, huh? I like this track, this Anderstorp track, Al. It's a little boring. Got some challenges around here. Got some tire challenges. Got some weather challenges, possibly. Can rain around here a lot. Might see some gaps open up, but there's going to be plenty of close racing in this one from top to bottom, no doubt.
Yeah, it's been about nearly 6 years since we last ran this circuit, believe it or not, as we move over to the qualifying session. So yeah, it's been about 6 years since we last ran this track. Race that was run by race won by Chris Moses in the Panos. Speaking of Chris Moses, he's heading out on track to start a hot lap now, and he was the fastest time here in practice. Moses, John Houston was looking good, Cuppet, David Poole. So,
yeah, that's right, Al. Showing. Sorry, didn't know if you were finished, Al. Yeah, running really good pacer in practice, and you know what? That might look like a qualifying time, but then again, it might not be. Chris Moses has some pretty good pace around this place, and I was thinking about that pace just a little bit, and you know, I'm wondering just how aggressive he's going to be on setting up this BMW here tonight, and if that's going to affect his tire wear over the course of this event. It might. I kind of suspect that might be the case.
Well, while we wait for Chris to make his way around on his outlap, let's take a quick look at the track map here tonight, Brad. This track is notorious for doing a lot of damage to tires. You got a couple bank turns, the main straight. Actually, the picture here is a little off. Where it says turn 6, that's actually turn 1 in this layout. So turn 1 leading onto the flight straight, which is a very long straight, and then down into the tricky infield section, and it's just a difficult circuit, Brad.
Yeah, it really is, and left tire front left tire wear, excuse me, is the critical aspect around here. But you know what? It can wreak havoc with the rear tires as well. So both that left side front end.
Let's jump on board now with Chris Moses as he makes his way into turn 1. Another bank corner. This is that main flight straight.
Yeah, coming down to actually off the drag strip here and coming down into this right-hand second corner. Very tricky entry on this one. Always seems like you can brake way later than you actually can. And there's a lot of bumps here right at the middle of the corner at the apex. It can really upset the car. Turn 3, a rather straightforward sweeper. Now you can actually set up to take that curving on the inside if you do it correctly.
So now we head into turns 4 and 5 here. A couple bank corners, Brad. This one coming up here, especially turn 5. Extremely banked.
Yeah, it's really all about setting up on entry here, and you don't want to get your entry wrong because you can easily go over that berm and find yourself in the sand. So key is really all about getting the power down, getting that acceleration coming into this left hand. And another very tricky entry here. Car, as I've said, it comes over a crown, always wants to oversteer on acceleration through.
This turn 7 is incredibly difficult. It's a giant 180 back into the final corner. Very slow left-hander. A lot of guys will run wide there, carry too much speed. See where Moses ends up. Well, the provisional pole with a 1:28.1, so that's going to smash the previous best of a 29.5 set by Chris. So already the time's improving here. Jonathan Cuppet currently second with a 28.3, so Cuppet showing some very good pace here, Brad.
Showing good pace in practice as well, Al. They've really got that Corvette hooked up nicely. I actually took that Corvette out for a few laps myself. It did feel quite good around this place.
So Cuppet slightly behind there in that sector 1. Some interesting entry into this turn 4 for Cup. A lot of guys tend to like diamond cut the corner. If that makes any sense.
It does. It depends a little bit on how you have the car set up. You would actually wouldn't mind to flick it in a little bit around that corner, and so you can kind of diamond off the apex that way. But the key is getting down to the correct spot to hit the acceleration point coming off without carrying too much speed and going wide on exit. Oh,
big mistake from Coppett. So he's going to pull it off. Andres Prieto carrying 40 kilograms of success ballast. We'll touch on the championship implications shortly. But Prieto currently sitting in, well, it just dropped down to 4th, but as David Poole has jumped up to provisional pole with a 28 flat. So these times much better than what we've previously seen here. I know Moses was in the 27s in practice, so expect him to get down into that range. You guys maybe.
I think Chris Moses can do 27s and maybe even quite a bit better than that. We'll see. I think that 27.46 may actually have been on race fuel setup, but we'll see if that's the case.
So Monroy has jumped up to 4th, dispatching Prieto down to 5th. There's a few guys making their way out. Marty Uran in 6th. John Houston was looking good in practice. Let's see what Houston can do. Oh, he backs out of it. So Houston currently 7th. Ian Jolicoeur running in 8th at the moment, on his way out. Aaron Parsons. Tough break last week as his mechanical issues prevented him from taking the grid at Monza last week. He basically lost his wheel. His feedback, all control on his wheel went out. Tried to reset it a few times. Just could not get on that, get it corrected to get back on the grid. So, tough break for Parsons.
Yeah, talk about championship implications. We will get to that, as you said.
So Parsons making his way turn 5 up to turn 6 coming up here. Brad mentioned this corner. You got another corner where you think you can brake a lot later than you can. And very inviting, but I think patience is key through there.
Yeah, you can take a little bit of advantage there in the braking zone, but you definitely do have to do it right. And if you are late, you're in horrible trouble. So discretion, the better part of valor into that corner, as well as this last one as well. Always got to get the car slowed up a little bit more than you'd like.
So Parsons checks up, checks in to 5th. So nice lap from Parsons as David Poole has jumped into the 27s with a 27.8.
Yeah, the Porsche is going to be a good performer around this place. Now, I talked to these guys a bit. I'll get to a little bit of what they had to say later, but teammate John Luden maybe not in such good as shape as teammate David Poole, carrying around some ballast here tonight, success ballast.
Yeah, John Luden with a good finish last week at Monza. So we talked about Parsons taking a big hit last week in the points as Andres Prieto coming away with the win last week on the last lap.
Yeah, took that win in dramatic fashion, but things were not all rosy for Andres Prieto. He did struggle for most of that race, had multiple offs into the kitty litter out there at Monza. Al struggling with the nighttime conditions, but did manage to pull that one out by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, we apologize for, as Moses is just 0.06 of a second off in the second sector. This last part of the track is where Moses usually does very well. Let's see what he can do here in the BMW.
Yeah, getting through these last two corners is really the key to making your best overall speed. The guys that have that figured out are the guys that will be running up front.
To the line, nope. Lost a bunch of time in the back, actually. So Cuppet remains in 3rd. Let's run down the order here. Monroy running in 4th on an outlap. Prieto 5th, 0.2 off in the first sector. Let's run right along with Breto here as he negotiates this middle part of the track. Got David Poole just ahead of him.
Watching Andres drive around here, you know, a lot of these corners look very similar to one another, but they actually aren't. They may look similar, they drive quite a bit differently, and a lot of bumps and humps to really deal with in some of the apex.
So Rachel gets out of it. He was about 6/10 off in that second split here in Parsons on an outlap, currently 6th. Connor Swain looking strong here tonight as well, running in 7th at the moment. Matt Taylor, gets it all wrong on the exit and stuffs it into the wall. He's currently in 8th. And we get Jolie Core making his way out. Sitting 9th at the moment. His teammate Marty Uran in 10th. John Houston currently sitting 11th.
Yeah, showed a better time than that in practice, Al, didn't he?
And he takes it off, yeah. Houston might just have to relax a little bit. Mike Trusser making his way out, currently sitting in 12th. And of course, John Luden back in 13th. He's about to start a lap. Got quite a bit of traffic up ahead of him. Yeah, presently sitting at 13th.
Yeah, there'll be no shortage of traffic out there for these guys, not only qualifying, but in the race as well.
Curtis Chandler, currently 14th. David Rowley in the McLaren sitting at 15th. It's about 14 minutes to go here in this qualifying session. If you're just tuning in, you're watching coverage of North American Grand Prix GT2 Monday Night League in the GTR2 simulator from Anderstorp. It's Greg Myers making his way around, currently sitting in 16th. Greg looking to improve on his current position.
Yeah, and as we know, Greg may not have had a lot of practice around this place, but plenty veteran enough to know how to get around this track anyway.
He pulls it off. He was way off the pace. Jared Keane in 17th in the Sunred. Making his way around the final 2 corners here.
I had a chance to speak with Jared Keane. He actually liked his chances here tonight. He felt like he was running pretty strong pace in this Sunred, and has come back to rejoin us here at NAGP more or less full time.
So no improvement for Jared. Kevin Miller in the Bentley sitting at 18th. 6/10 off in the first sector.
Not exactly the way you want to get through there. Kevin Miller nearly had his first points season last week. Long time coming for Kevin. Had some controller issues. Had figured those out, so running a bit better now, but just missed out on points last week.
Yeah, a bit of an off year, off season for these guys. As he pulls it into the pit lane. Krishna Khalili back in 20th. Ryan Story, Kevin Miller's teammate, sitting in 21st. Remember a few seasons back, these guys were scoring points and running into points, but
yeah, I think the car has caught them out a little bit this season. They've been complaining a lot about having trouble setting up the suspension over bumpy tracks, and I tell you, this is one of those tracks which they would have trouble setting up the car for, so maybe that's a bit of their problem here tonight.
See if Story can improve here as he comes to the line. No improvement. Sam Rolfe making his way out, currently in 22nd. Mascarelli in the Cadillac, sitting in 23rd, about to start a lap. Further back, Mike Monahan serving a no-call penalty in 24th, as is his teammate. Calderon back in 26th. McIntyre has not set a time, and Jaime Moore also serving a penalty. So, Chris Moses has taken over a provisional pole with a 1:27.776. John Houston has jumped up to third. So Houston finally laying down a time, as David Poole and Chris Moses, both of them making their way out on track, trying to better their time. Houston unable to improve. But gotta say, Brad, that is a great time for John Houston. 28-1. Not far off those guys up in front, ahead of his teammate.
Yeah, and John Houston, as mentioned here the last couple weeks, has really made some strides, but he's making more than just strides now. He is starting to creep into contention for possibly nabbing himself a win here sometime soon, and it's great to see.
Parsons on an out lap. Sorry, Juan Monroy now about to start a lap in the Audi. Monroy currently sitting in 6th. Let's jump on board.
Yeah, and how often did we mention Juan Monroy and close to the top 5 in the same sentence? Haven't done it too much this season now, so that's good to see.
Yeah, certainly capable of putting that car up on pole. Just 800s up a second back in the first sector. Good time for him there.
It sure is. And this is another car maybe a little tricky to set up over the bumps, but going to have great overall mechanical grip, which will help tremendously through some of these very long sweepers. Whoa! Yeah, you see Juan Monroy taking that diamond approach through that corner.
Run up to turn 6 and see how he is here in the second split. Just under half second off. Might be able to move up a couple positions.
Yeah, I would think the Audi would be pretty at home coming around this long final corner. Maybe not as good as David Poole's Porsche, but pretty good nonetheless.
See what Monroy can do here at the line to 5th. So moving Parsons back 1 position to 6th. Parsons way off the pace there, 2 seconds off. Kupik now has fallen back to 7th. So Moses off half a second. David Poole behind him on track. Couple throwaway laps for these guys.
Yeah, at this point, if they get out of the pits now, they're going to still have the opportunity to get 2 timed laps in, so nothing's settled at this point.
So Parsons. I'm sorry, this is Houston. Worked our way through the field here. Jump on board with Aaron Parsons. Gonna move up. Certainly capable of doing so. Not carrying any weight tonight either, Brad. So that's why it's even more surprising what he is right now.
Oh, I had actually just assumed he was carrying weight, but I guess you're right. Boy, John Houston just straight out qualifying his teammate on a kind of a level chassis here. Wow. Yeah, that is saying something.
Parsons 6/10 off in the second sector.
Yeah, boy, but those times so tight. These guys really fighting over tenths of a second now here toward the end of this qualifying period to move up a couple spots. That's all it would take.
Parsons to the line. No improvement. Connor Swain has jumped up to third, Brad. Wow.
Wow. And what pace he's showing throughout the season, Al. If only he could have held on to some of those results, would looked promising to start, but then faded.
By 0.02 of a second over John Houston. What a great lap. David Poole, no improvement. Ooh. 0.09 of a second off provisional pole. Times are getting really close here, Brad.
Yeah, they are. And it's all to play for now. Like I say, track temperature is perfect. You aren't going to get any better around this place for a couple laps on the soft tires and low fuel.
Oh, Houston gets out of it. A lot of guys making their way out of the pits. Taylor's jumped up to 9th. Let's run him down real quick. Joe LaCour in 10th. His teammate 11th. Trussler currently in 12th. 1.1 off in the second sector. Let's see what he can do here.
Nice apex and exit there.
No improvement. He did pick up some time on that lap, but unable to improve. So Luden has jumped up to 13th. David Raleigh now sitting at 14th. He's about to complete a lap. So Raleigh jumps up to 10th. I saw a picture of Raleigh on Facebook. He was at the WEC 6-hour event at Silverstone. Somehow they squeezed him into the new Nissan prototype. I don't know how he got into that thing, but he was in the garage. But I wish
they offered to squeeze you into one. You figure out a way to make it work, Al.
I wanted to see how they extracted him out of it. But Raleigh having a good run here tonight. So we got about 3 minutes to go here, Brad. Chris Moses still on top. He's on a flyer. Looking to improve on his provisional pole time. David Poole right behind him.
Yeah, it's all to play for now. This is going to be their last opportunity. You know, somebody out of this group will run into traffic too and will not have the opportunity to advance.
David Poole 0.3 off in the first sector. Houston's on a flyer, as is Prato.
Boy, can John Houston do something here in the last few laps out? Really steal the show.
Prato just ahead of these guys on track. Prato only 0.2 off in the second split. Ooh,
wow,
gets it a little wide there. Cost him some time.
Yeah, the Viper's not going to be terribly good in this third sector, and he is carrying 40 kilograms of success ballast with that Monza win last week. Not going to help.
So can he improve on that? No, he does not. So he lost a boatload of time there with that mistake. See what Houston can do now. Houston off 0.7. David Poole to the line. No improvement. John Houston coming around for the last time.
Yeah, if he's set up right here, he'll get one more lap along with most of the guys in the top 10.
There's no improvement for Houston. Parsons has jumped up to third, moving Swain back to fourth. So Parsons,
wow,
laying one down. Pole 0.06 off in the first sector. Chris Moses about to close out his qualifying here with this lap. Oh, catches the grass on exit. he might have been able to improve there. That cost him quite a bit of time.
I don't know if that cost him. Yeah, I don't know if it was 3/10 worth, but it was at least a couple.
So David Poole in second, just ahead of Parsons on track. Coming down to the wire, Brad.
Oh, it sure is, and these times are tight.
Poole 1/10 off.
All right, this is where he's going to have the advantage right here. No weight in that light, well-handling Porsche. I don't know if he got around there clean or not.
Pretty good exit. Poole to the line. He does it.
Wow.
He just does it. Wow. Oh, Parsons parks it. What a finish there for Poole. Let's see if that time's going to hold up. It should. There's only two guys in the 27s. Houston, no improvement.
Swain's on track. He's going to have a pretty Herculean effort here. Needs to pick up a half second.
Monroy just ahead of him on track. Jump on board with Monroy. Currently in 7th. Monroy only 3/10 off in the second sector. Ooh. He got a bit of, got a little too much curbing there on exit. Similar to what Prato did. I don't think that's going to help Monroy. Nope. Swain, he parks it. Cuppet, don't know if he's going to get it in. It's Cuppet and Taylor, last two guys, and Taylor's only 0.09 of a second off in the second split.
Oh boy, can he keep it together? Does he have enough time? It's going to be close, Al.
It's going to be real close. Got to have a good exit here. And looks pretty decent. Is he going to get it in? He does. Jumps up to 4th. Wow. Didn't see where Cuppet ended up. Great job by Taylor to get up to 4th. Cuppet, well, he stayed in 9th. Monroy there at 8th. Wow, look at these times, Brad. Very, very close.
Well, it's a short track, so that's exactly what we'd expect. And yeah, I have some race notes coming up about the nature of this track, but it's going to elicit some pretty close times around here.
Yeah, so 1 second separating positions 1 through 11. Well, 1 through 13. Yeah, it's very, very close. So, we're in qualifying 2 now, just waiting for the rest of the any late stragglers to come in here, guys who missed the qualifying session. It's like a couple guys are joining in here late. So long, looks like he had dropped in the qualifying session, but he's back. Nice to see Sol back, filling in.
Yeah,
for,
it is great to see.
Filling in for Ryan Schleif here tonight. So Sol will be carrying a little extra weight for tonight's event for missing 3 races. So, I'd like to let everybody know, if you're watching on Twitch right now, you can click on the banner there to bring up the live timing for tonight's race, or if you're watching on the website, just click on GTR2 live timing and follow the action on track. If we're not covering somebody, you can see where they are during the race, as well as look at their lap times. So last week, Brad.
Yes,
let's take a look.
Last week.
Let's take a quick look at the standings after last week's race. Yeah, Andres Prato with a 13-point lead over Aaron Parsons in the Drivers' Championship. So that win by Prato coming late in the race at Monza, race that was at night, and so you mentioned Prato made a lot of mistakes there early on, but still managed to to come away with the win. Parsons unable to start the event, stuck 13 points back. Chris Moses has been slowly but surely making his way up the standings week after week. 14 points back in third. Qualified on the front row here tonight. So looking good for Moses once again. John Luden in fourth with 103 points. And Montgomery Jr. sitting in fifth with 97. In the team championship, we got 05 Motorsports with the lead, 200 points. Team Columbia Newies, that's Preto and Jaime Moore with 174 points. Positions 2 through 2 and 3, we have two teams tied for third. T-Brock Danban GT2 with 172 and Precision Motor Racing with 172. So, team championship still well up for grabs here, Brad. Although 05 Motorsports with that extra bonus point here tonight continue to look like they're going to repeat here as team champions in GT2.
Well, I tell you, it was all. Actually, the only team we really need to focus, or one I'm really going to be focusing on here tonight, is that 05 Motorsports squad. They had a tremendous effort last week in Monza with John Luden able to finish off that race in second. Of course, the week before in Suzuka coming away with a miraculous 1 and 2. So they've been coming on. But a couple things, Al. First of all, John Luden has disconnected from his qualifying. He's rejoined the grid, but he's gonna be starting toward the back tonight, and he was not happy with that car and the way it was performing with the weight. So it looks like David Poole may have to carry the torch for that team tonight. That is going to open the door for the rest of the teams behind him to possibly close that gap a little bit. I think tonight is going to be the night for 05 Motorsports. Do they go into Spa with a comfortable lead, or is the fight still on? And those teams. I mean, shoot, it basically tied a three-way tie right behind them for those teams. So I think it's still anybody's game, Al.
Yeah, I did not notice that he had disconnected. That is a tough break for 05 Motorsports, but especially at a track that's very difficult to pass on. So, man, the brakes just, this is some of the adversity some of these teams have to deal with. And if Luden can keep it clean, look for him to be in the points by the end of the night. But it's going to be a long and difficult task for him for sure tonight. But you mentioned PMR. Big boost for those guys tonight, qualifying second and fourth. Taylor right at the end there, qualifying up near the front. He's going to be starting behind his teammate. So those guys,
yeah, absolutely,
have a lot to look forward to tonight.
Yeah, and I think the key for the PMR guys in that BMW is really going to be the kind of tire wear they're going to experience. Now, if we do get some of the wet stuff coming down, they're going to be in great shape. But if it doesn't, they could run into tire wear issues. And we know Chris Moses really likes to make sure that the rear end of that car swings around. That could lead to problems here on this track. He usually handles it just fine, but all of us can overdo it from time to time. That could be a problem for them. Now, the Mercedes guys, Aaron Parsons and, of course, John Hughes, they're looking pretty good, and I suspect that their setup's going to be pretty strong for them over the course of the whole event.
So the max distance for tonight's race is 41 laps. The last time we ran here, it went 39, but all depends on the pace. It's time or distance, whatever comes first, 167 kilometers. So this race may go 20 if the pace is quicker.
40?
I'm sorry, 40 if the pace is quicker than previous. But if it rains, all that goes out the window.
Yeah, a few of the teams that I talked to actually think that it will go 40 laps. Max distance is 41, as you say, but I think the majority of teams are planning on 40 laps.
So as these guys practice their pit stops, this track also a very tricky pit entrance here at the exit of that 180. These guys are going to have to be very cautious going in.
It's not so great on exit either, Al. There's a very hard 90-degree right-hand bend there coming out of the pit exit, and it's very easy to take a little too much speed trying to get out of there quickly and clip the wall on exit. So, these guys will be prepared for it. However, it's a minor concern. I tell you something else we haven't talked about. You know, pit stops can be difficult around here. There are quite a few pit bays, but no doubt a few of these drivers will have to be sharing it at a short track. If you want to come in, there's a possibility somebody will be in your pit stall, and you will have to circulate around the track one or two more times.
Yeah, that's a good point, because there's limited pit bays here. Only 15 pit boxes, so we got about 30 guys racing tonight. So pretty much everybody will be sharing. So what that means is these guys are probably going to have to stagger their pit stops and you know, make sure they get that infamous blue light to come into the pits.
Well, it's going to be one heck of a race. This is an interesting track. It's not terribly difficult to be consistent on this track, but you have to be patient if you want to be consistent. And if you aren't patient, it's so easy to make a mistake. You have to run the car pretty loose around this place to get through these high-speed sweeping bends, and boy, a miscalculation running wide on exit, a little too much power over one of the bumps and curbs to have a spin. You can be consistent, but you have to be careful around this place too.
Yeah, a couple guys have disconnected from what I've seen, and that's a shame. Hopefully it's not. Oh, so long still here. So I'm not sure.
It's John Luden out.
I see him. He's at the bottom of the list.
Oh yes. Oh, okay.
So warm-up session completed. We will now make our way over to the race and get the show on the road. It should be a real barn burner here tonight.
Yeah, typically, you know, we've run this a bit more in GT1 than we have in GT2, of course. So only one previous race here in GT2. The problem hasn't necessarily been in the first corner, Al, but rather the second corner, coming off that long high-speed straight into a very tight right-hand bend there for the second corner. That's where the trouble usually pops its head up. Hopefully these drivers will manage it fine.
And conditions pretty stagnant. 75 degree ambient track temperature and 91 degree ambient temperature, 91 degree track temp. So looking good for tonight's race. So this track, even though it's an average rainfall here, it always has a tendency to want to rain, but does not look like it's going to be the case here tonight. So the guys are happy to see that. So yeah, you know what, Brad, you mentioned turn 2 going in there. There's a trouble spot, but turn 1, we carry just enough speed where these guys have a tendency to overshoot and go off over the hill.
Yeah,
right?
especially. Yeah, it can happen, especially toward the back when you get caught out on the outside. Do we still have time for a rundown now?
Ooh, yeah, forgot about that. Starting from pole, David Pole. Second, Chris Moses, Aaron Parsons third, Matt Taylor fourth, Connor Swain fifth.
Houston 6th, Prieto 7th, Monroy 8th, Cuppet 9th, Rowley 10th.
Joe LaCour 11th, Uren 12th, Trussell 13th, Chandler 14th, Jared Keene 15th.
Myers 16th, Wilkerson 17th, Miller 18th, Story 19th, Sam Rolfe 20th.
Mascarelli 21st, Lung 22nd, Monahan 23rd, Palacio 24th, Calderon 25th.
McIntyre takes 26th, Moore in 27th, and John Luden will bring up the rear in 28th. So 28 drivers here tonight. Lost 28, a few, unfortunately.
Yeah, a couple guys disconnected, and that's unfortunate as we're looking at the nose of David Poole and the rest of the field as we're about to go green here from Anderstorp for the first time in 6 years.
Oh boy.
Green flag, great start from David Poole. Prieto looking to take advantage there of Swain. Out front, Chris Moses on the tail of David Poole, not close enough to make a move. Matt Taylor has taken it off.
Oh.
It's on his own accord there. I didn't see any contact. So, not what PMR wanted to see as Chris Moses looking on the inside of David Poole. Ooh, some contact. Chris Moses overtakes Poole for the lead. I'm not sure if you saw that, Brad. That was slight contact. David Poole kept it under control, but
I'm watching the broadcast pictures now, Al.
Further back, Monroy jumped up to 5th. Parsons Houston 6th and 7th. Rally up to 8th. Chandler making waves here, jumping up to 11th early on. Connor Swain has jumped up to 3rd. Great start from Connor after Taylor took it off. So look for these guys to come in right around lap 20. Up at near end. Close battle between these two guys for 10th. Sorry, for 9th. Ooh, is that Rally? Rally spun it.
Oh.
Field tries to make their way by. They do, cleanly. So, tough break for Rally. He's fallen back now to 21st. Ooh, and now he's gotten into the back of Calderon. Ooh.
Oh.
Straighten him back out. So, Luton just jumped up to 22nd after starting from the back.
Yeah, I've been watching John Luton's progress in the field here. It has been very clean, patient, and measured, so it doesn't look like he has too much anxiety going after that disconnect. Calm and composed.
Calderon back on pace here after that little incident with Rally. Rolf having a look on the inside of John McIntyre. McIntyre's going to hold on to that position as he's got the advantage there onto the final corner. Nice job there by those two guys. Jaime Moore starting from the back in 27th. Ooh, looks like Mascarelli's got a puncture. Trying to make his way back into the pits.
Yeah, Mascarelli had problems coming off the last corner, got into the pit wall. I think he's had to go all the way around the track to get that damage repaired out.
So after that pass by Moses, the gap, well, you see it there on in your picture, it's about a second between these two guys. Behind them, however, it's Connor Swain holding off Prato, Monroy, Parsons, and Houston.
Yeah, Connor Swain has managed to make some nice defenses here this last lap, but he is being well and truly hounded, as you can see.
On board with John Houston. There's a lot of pressure on Connor Swain. As Prato takes a look on the inside.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on Connor Swain, but you know there's a little bit here on Andres as well. Now he's carrying around quite a bit of success ballast. He would like to get by, maybe use Connor as a blocker a little bit to try to hold off some of the charging guys behind. These are intense points battles here, as well as battles out on track, Al.
Yeah, a bit of a risky move there by Prato in that final corner, but to stay off the quarter panel of Swain. Great battle here early on. Prato looks like he is the faster driver here at the moment, but looking to get by, and Fortunately, he's got Swain to contend with, losing time to Poole and Moses.
Yeah, it sure is. I don't know if that's Andres' biggest concern, rather than the Mercedes is trying to come up behind him, particularly Aaron Parsons. Now, the track temperature has shot up quite a bit here all of a sudden now. It's at 97 degrees on track, and tire issues could become a problem for these guys very shortly.
So, Prato, let's see if he has another look on Swain yet again. Monroy under intense pressure from Parsons.
This place is so difficult to get around again. You can't be very consistent around here. It's very easy to block unless a guy gets a run coming off the first corner, coming into the best passing opportunity, turn 2.
So Swain, that McLaren is doing a mighty fine job here down the straight, holding off Prato. Viper carries a lot of speed, but the weight, no doubt, a detriment for him right now.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what's hindering Andres.
So as these guys duke it out. Go ahead, Brad.
I was just going to say we have that battle going on, but of course, as always, there's close action all the way through the entire field now. Lots of 3- and 4- and 5-way battle.
Prato with a bit of a lurch there, lost a bit of time to Swain. Such a difficult track to overtake on.
Yeah, it really is. There are some places where you can kind of force the issue if you're brave enough and trust the guy in front enough, but you know, you want to really try to save those chances until you really have to use them there coming down toward the end of the race.
Right up on the bumper of Juan Monroy. Monroy with a great run here early on.
Yeah, he is, and given the Mercedes teammates behind him on the old wet fur, I think those guys would like to get by that Audi, but just have not been able to do it.
Let's jump behind real quick. Chandler has worked his way up to 9th, right behind Marty Uren. Behind them, Trussler, Matt Taylor has rejoined in 11th. So, after that off on the first lap. So Trussler having a nice run here early on, running in 10th. Got Taylor, Cuppet to contend with. Cuppet qualified in the top 10 if I recall, but has fallen back to 12th.
Yeah, Cuppet qualified there in 9th position. Curtis Chandler, however, had qualified 15th, so it's been a big run up for Curtis Chandler in that 9th spot.
Yeah, a great start for Kurt, and he's gapping Trussler right now, so he's definitely got pace. Maybe just a case of him not able to put a good lap together in qualifying, but his race pace is looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, sure is. We've got somebody dropping through the field. Ooh, Kevin Miller looks like he's had some type of off. He will rejoin toward the back.
So Greg Myers back at 13th. Keane running in the points in 14th, as is Dan Wilkerson. And Brian Story in the points under intense pressure here from Palacio and Joe LaCour. On board with Ian. Nose to tail, 3 of them down the straight. Palacio having a look on the inside. Palacio gets the job done. Nice pass there. Now Joe LaCour looking to make the move on the inside of Story. A little contact there, but Joe LaCour gets the job done. Now he's looking to take advantage of Palacio.
Yeah, Palacio moved over as if to make his intention to defend. I think back the end on Joe LaCour off just a little bit. That was Pano's power come down the straight, but obviously fighting very hard here in the twist.
Luden now up to 19th with Sol Lung behind him. On board with Sol. Ooh, Story takes it wide and looking to take advantage but cannot. What a battle back here. Ooh, Sol! One of the Vipers gets into the back of Sol. It's like it was Jaime Moore.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a nice welcome back.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. So Sol having a tough time getting that thing back going again. Wow, unreal. So after service, Mascarelli is back in 27th, and Rally's parked it. So back out front here, Chris Moses stretching his lead slightly over David Poole by about 2 seconds.
Yeah, that gap's opened up here. Just in the last couple, 3 laps, David Poole started to slip off the pace a little bit. Chris Moses in the high 28s. David Poole now running in the low 29. Track temperature going up. These guys are really going to start to struggle with overheating tires. I'm sure they already are at this point now.
Yeah, 98-degree Fahrenheit track temp, and Connor Swain still doing a great job holding off Preto. These guys 3rd through 7th unchanged. It's still Swain, Preto, Monroy, Parsons, and Houston.
And Swain is doing a great job. I mean, you cannot help but be impressed. Obviously, he's coming under intense pressure. Oh, and he makes a mistake there.
Makes a mistake there, but is he going to be able to hang on to it? Ooh, looks like it's going to open the door for Preto. Preto's going to have a look on the inside. Preto's going to have it.
Oh, I didn't even give a chance to give him the... Didn't even get a chance to give him the full broadcaster's curse. I mean, I was just thinking about the compliments, and here he goes making a mistake before I can even get him out. I mean, that's a first.
Yeah, just ran it a little too wide on the exit of 1, and once you get over that curve, it's a little dicey. So lost a lot of momentum.
I tell you what has... Yeah. And I tell you what's impressed me so much about Connor Swain's run here is, it looks like Juan Monroy has gone off behind him, but I'm going to get this out, come hell or high water, Al. What's impressed me about Connor Swain is that he had all this pressure from Andres, but you know what? He had not only stayed in front, but they had been starting to pull a bit of a gap on Juan Monroy. Now, he has gone off, so all that's gone out the window. But
well, yeah, something happened with Parsons as well, so I don't know if Monroy and Parsons had it coming together, but John Houston has jumped up to 5th. Parsons now relegated to 6th, and Marty Uranus picked up the pace here now up to 7th, not far off from Parsons' tailpipe.
Juan Monroy all the way back to 13th, so you have to assume that was some type of contact going into turn 2, right behind where we saw that Connor Swain action at.
Yeah, we kind of missed that, didn't pick it up in the TV view, unfortunately. But Taylor has worked his way now up to 8th, so Taylor on a charge here after his mistake. Trussler up to 9th, and Cuppet running in 10th. So these 3 guys jockeying for position. Greg Myers not far off them as well. So yeah, Monroy back to 13th. Curtis Chandler now has fallen back to 14th. So things are moving around here further in the mid-pack here, Brett.
Yeah, and again, I mean, we can see all the position changes here are due to mistakes, and that's exactly what I was talking about. That's going to be your best opportunity, really, to move forward on this track. Just keep pounding the guy in front, pounding him as long as you possibly can until you finally get that window crack just a bit to slip through.
Uh-oh, big slide from Calderon and right in front of Luden.
Oh, Parsons has had to cut. Sorry, Al. Parsons also off the pace now. He slipped back.
It's got to be frustrating for Luden. He cannot get by Calderon even after that mistake.
Yeah, the Porsche down on power anyway, but throw some weight ballast on the thing, and it's going to be a real struggle for him with any straight line speed at all.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Parsons checked up to let Monroy ahead of him.
Ah.
I think what might have happened here was Parsons might have gotten the back of Monroy. And, 'cause I don't see any damage on Parsons' car. Jared Keane right there in between these guys. Keane defending on the inside, but Monroy gets the pass made.
Yeah, I should mention Jared Keane, and now that we've got him on our pictures here, Jared Keane, of course, qualified 17th, felt really good about his chances, and has actually moved up pretty nicely here to start this race.
Parsons trying to take a look on the inside. Looks like he's going to get the pass made. So Parsons up to 12th now.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. Apparently that is what's happened there. Parsons, maybe he was at the losing end of some type of contact between those two, and that's a gentlemanly thing to do. So
things are starting to shift here. Marty now running up to 6th.
Yeah, good run for him.
Go ahead,
No, I'm sorry, Al. Don't mean to step on you there. You know, things shifting here. So I'm watching these lap times, and I'm suddenly seeing that the gap to first start to come down just a little bit. And I think that some of this dreaded tire wear might be coming into play for Chris Moses. That Porsche may be having an advantage on the rubber.
Yeah, this track is so devastating on the tires, especially that final turn 8. It's just rips the left side tires apart, especially the left front. If you push too hard early, it really kills you there at the end of your stick. But Moses maintaining that gap over David Poole. Reto now up to 3rd. So if things finish the way they are, Moses would pick up some points on Pareto. I'd have to bust out the calculator, Brad. Where is my calculator?
Well, I do not know where your calculator's at. It certainly would not be to take over the championship lead, but you know, if you're Chris Moses or some of the guys behind, Aaron Parsons, anybody that's trailing Andres Pareto with a legitimate shot, all you're looking for is a chance to get in front of that particular guy and take whatever point you can. So, job done to this point for Chris Moses.
Taylor now up to 7th. Running through the field here. Greg Meyer starting to close up on Cuppet now for 9th. So Greg having another solid run here tonight.
Yeah, and not too surprising. He has driven this track quite a bit in the past. I did want to make mention of a quick battle that I've been keeping my eye on. Actually, Curtis Chandler, we talked about him, and Jared Keane both. Well, fight has kind of become joined here over the 13th spot. Curtis Chandler closing on Jared Keane.
Yeah, we just picked that up. Not sure what happened to Kurt. He was in the top 10, but he's fallen back to 14th. Now, as you mentioned, starting to real Keane in here for that 13th position.
I tell you, I've been watching Jared Keane a bit over the course of this week, and that sunride has been turning some pretty good times, which is pretty impressive around this place. That the sunride should not be great around here, but he is putting it to some pretty darn good use.
Jolicoeur not far off of Chandler there, back in 15th. Palacio still running in the points. John Luden now has moved his way up to 17th. He's gotten around Calderon. Did some damage to the rear of his car, so it looks like someone paid a visit to his bumper.
Well, starting right at the back of the field on a track like this and having good pace, you would expect a few battle scars here or there. Overall, I'm very impressed with John Luden's run. Like I say earlier, he was not anxious. He was patiently picking off what positions he could. and he'll continue to do so the rest of the event. So far, so good for John Luden in the tough spot he had.
Yeah, he's got some work cut out for him. However, he's got quite a gap between himself and Palacio.
Whoa! I'm sorry, Al. I was looking at the battle behind there.
Yeah,
over
I just
19th.
picked that up as it's Miller, Story, Monahan, McIntyre, Rolfe, and Calderon all duking it out here. Let's jump on board with Sam Rolfe. McIntyre just ahead in that Mercedes. McIntyre having a look on the inside of Monahan. Monahan might be having an issue with his tail lights, with his brake pedal.
Is he getting some flash on the
Yeah,
tail
looking
light?
at him down the straight. A little flash going on. Oh, he certainly have to have that looked at.
Time to clean the pots, but this is just the way it is, isn't it, Al? We see all the great racing action up toward the front, and it's hard sometimes to get toward the action in the back, but here at NAGP, it's always here. Look, these guys not fighting for points at the moment, but it is the same type of fight nonetheless.
Yeah, Mike Monahan should get a good exit here. If he gets a good exit, he could have a run on this penalty. That's Kevin Miller. Looks like he's going to get it done. Bentley's got some serious right side damage. Looking on the outside. It's going to be a tough pass for Mike, and he's not going to get it done. It's Bentley defending the inside. Yeah, so Luden lucked out getting past these guys. Ooh, McIntyre taking it in a little hot. Rolfe's going to take advantage as they're side by side to turn 5. Ooh, and looks like Miller took it wide. He's trying to do the old up and under on Mike. Yeah, I was just sick of the same thing. That was nip and tuck there, but Mike gets the pass made. McIntyre's going to look to try and get around Brian Story. Ooh, Mike with a little moment there on exit.
Yeah, and as these guys dice, they're going to be thinking about their upcoming pit stops here momentarily. Now, if you're one of these guys, maybe you think about diving in a little early to get yourself through some of this traffic. Another 4 or 5 laps, we're ready to be at halfway.
McIntyre. Yeah, Story defending that inside line. Now he goes back out to the racing line. Tough ass to try and get around somebody on the outside there.
Nearly impossible, yeah.
Ooh. Johnny Mac. Really made the same exact mistake the lap before.
Yeah, and of these cars that are involved in this fight here, he's going to struggle the most with front grip here as the tire wear starts to play its role.
So Wolf just hanging back there, hoping these guys make mistakes. They can just drive by. Not far off there in 23rd, followed by Calderon. Long back there in 25th after getting punted off track. And Dan Wilkerson, not sure what happened to Dan, but he's back in 26 too. Dan was running in the points.
Oh boy. Yeah, holding on to the lead lap, but just for not too much longer, I don't think.
Back out front, that gap is now under a second between Moses and David Poole after it's like getting by that lap car of Mascarelli.
Yeah, and I think that played a role, but Chris Moses' times, actually the whole field times have ballooned here quite a bit, and I think none more so than Chris Moses. David Poole just eking out tenths here and there on Chris Moses as they prepare for their stops.
Yeah, I was just checking the lap counter, working lap 17, so that pit window is opening up for these guys. Oh! Meanwhile, this battle between Swain and Houston still going on. Swain still hanging on to that 4th spot.
Yeah, he's still hanging on to that spot in the battle right behind. Matt Taylor really has made some inroads on Marty Uren. He has challenged a couple times for that 6th place, but hasn't quite been able to nab it just yet.
Oh, Houston having a look on the inside of Swain, and he finally gets the pass made. Wow, these guys were duking it out for most of this first stint. Hang on to it, John. So John now up to 4th. Doing a great job for T-Brock Dampam in their quest for a team championship.
Yeah, and it always feels good when you're involved in those battles to get by, you know, well, preferably a lot earlier than this, but sometime before your pit stop, you know, if you're on the worn rubber involved in that fight, it's like, okay, whew, now I can just kind of focus on my lines for a couple laps here, get ready for my stop, make sure I have all my adjustments done, and so that's a good feeling. They have started. Ian Jolicoeur has come in, and Matt Taylor just now.
Yeah, so, no, I was just going to say, I noticed Jolicoeur coming out of the pit lane. So, yeah, the pit lane is busy at the moment as these guys are starting to get serviced.
It's going to get busy as hell because I can't imagine anybody not taking tires around this track.
Yeah, this is probably one of the only tracks where... well, a guaranteed tire change. I don't think anybody could be able to double stint their tires.
Well, Tiago's not here tonight, but
yeah, that's true.
Barring him, yeah.
So let's see what happens here if the leaders come into the pits. Moses in. Poole's going to stay out. Poole's going to take over the lead as Chris Moses makes his way into the pits.
Yeah. David Poole will want to get in just as quickly as he possibly can, so his time's now about 1 second off of his best pace. So he'll be giving up a second per lap to Chris Moses every lap he stays out.
Houston in. Swain in. Uren's going to stay out. Trussler, Greg Myers, he's going to stay out. So a lot of these guys electing to stay out. See what Cuppet does here. Cuppet's going to stay out. As is Parsons.
Yeah, some of those guys may not have their pit lights to come in due to somebody being serviced. We talked about that. That's a possibility. I think this is an important stop. Nobody more so for Connor Swain. If you can keep this momentum going here, get out in a good position and finish off a good result here tonight.
Well, I'm watching this battle right now between Cuppet and Aaron Parsons. Parsons under intense pressure from Jonathan Cuppet.
Yeah, unfortunately Cuppet was involved in a little fracas there just a lap or two ago. Didn't see exactly what happened, but knocked him a bit off the momentum.
Out front here, let's see what David Poole does. He's in the pits. It's a huge pit stop for David Poole.
Yeah, it is.
As he comes in, no one's in his pit box. That's a good sign for him.
It is. Able to get in just one lap after Chris Moses, so he won't be giving up too much ground on track.
So Marty
should be.
See what Marty does here. Marty is going to stay out.
Yeah, also should be a quick stop for David Poole. He likely will be taking less fuel than Chris Moses, almost surely, in the Porsche.
So Parsons is in as his Cuppet. So all these guys staying out. Chris Moses now making his way onto the start-finish straight. To see where he is in relation to David Poole. David Poole exiting the pit lane. This is going to be tight, Brad.
Yeah.
David Poole got him. Ooh, not yet. As they David Moses hangs on to him.
That is about exactly the gap that they came in with, Al.
Exactly, you're right. Calderon splitting these two guys. Calderon gets out of the way. So, tremendous stops from both drivers. Moses, yeah, it's about 7/10 apart. That's where they are right now. So, amazing. 2 weeks in a row, Brad. Well, actually, I should take us back to Suzuka when we saw White, Parsons, and David Poole almost have identical stops.
You know, that was a really good stop for Chris Moses because he does not get near the fuel economy that David Poole does. So I think Chris Moses really nailed a good one here to maintain that gap. The question is, David Poole showed slightly better speed there toward the end of that first stint, and will that happen again in the second stint? I don't know, but I think it's likely.
The main issue here now for these guys is managing lap traffic as Moses gets by one of the Bentleys. Yep, he's going to want to get by. He does, but
so just taking a quick look a little further back, Connor Swain actually did get out in front of Matt Taylor, so it was a good stop for Connor Swain.
Let's see where Preto is here. So Preto coming around. Marty Uren is away, but Marty's not going to be able to get out in front of Andres.
Now it looks like Andres will hold on to third place, but you know, suddenly here after pit stops, he is well and truly off of the first place battle now, some 20 seconds in the rears out.
Yeah, so Connor Swain comes out just ahead of Matt Taylor, and tell you what, poor stop for John Houston as he comes out behind Marty Uren. It's one thing I've noticed about Houston is that's something he's going to have to work on. I think his pit stops have kind of cost him some good results in the past.
Boy, and I tell you, it's not going to be any easy task trying to get ahead of Marty Uren. That Ferrari,
not the way.
Well, that's one way to get it done.
Yeah, that's one way to do it, but not the ideal way to get it done.
You know, I think there was an opening there, and at this type of track, it kind of forces you sometimes to take some chances. I'm not saying it was right or wrong, but
that moves Houston up to 6th. Meanwhile, Taylor and Connor Swain. So you got to really hand it to Matt Taylor after that mistake early on in the first lap. He's really put together a nice drive here, challenging Swain for 5th.
No doubt, and here's David Poole actually. He has latched onto the bumper of Chris Moses now suddenly after these stops. Chris Moses usually very good in the second stint of these races, but right now being challenged here at the first part of this stint.
Track temperature has remained pretty stable, so it hasn't fluctuated all that much. In fact, it's gone down a degree. As David Poole and Chris Moses trying to make their way past some more lap traffic here. Bentley's a little too wide there. Next car to go a lap down is going to be John Luton, as David Poole's teammate. Trussler has yet to pit. He is out there in the lead. So I failed to notice that. But Trussler banging out some laps here late. I'm not sure how his what his lap times are like, Brad. I don't know if you had a chance to look at it, but
yeah, the 130.8 range. I guess you would say that that's not too bad at this stage of the race. You have to think that he is going to go for a double stint here. If any car can do it, it's this car. Be the best candidate for it, but already running 30.8s. I don't know that that's going to work out too well for him. He, of course, had shown very good pace before getting shuffled back a little bit, so maybe he wants to take a gamble here to increase his position.
Hey, it's worth a shot at this point.
Yep.
Now it's paying off for him.
Yeah, I'm watching the battle a bit further back here. Actually, the last two cars, he's still on the lead lap here. Jared Keane and Curtis Chandler still going at it for that 16th, 15th spot.
Yeah, we just picked that up. Both these guys have already come in for service. So Kurt Chandler, the last car in the points. McIntyre in 18th, Jaime Moore back in 19th, and John Luton has just been put a lap down in 20th, has allowed Moses and his teammate pass.
Yeah, you have to wonder what happened to John Luton. He had been making a great inroad after that disconnect, running up near the points, but now finds himself back in 20th again. I don't know what happened there, Al.
Meanwhile, quite the battle here. 21st between the two Bentleys, Calderon and Wilkerson. These guys have all been going at it most of this race.
Boy, they sure have.
Wilkerson's going to have a look on the inside of Calderon, and he's going to get the pass made. So nice job by Dan.
Well, I can't help but be impressed. Sorry, Al. Can't help but be impressed a little bit here with Kevin Miller and teammate Brian Starr.
Wilkerson took it off after that pass. Sorry, Brian.
Oh, I didn't know you had a battle. You're watching it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, these guys running 21st and 22nd, not where they would like to be. Certainly not the type of positions we've seen them run before, but I know that they've been struggling with the car pretty mightily, and I think they've maximized what they've got out of it tonight here around this track. Pretty impressed with their run here tonight, really.
So Trussler remains out on track. Currently working lap 25. But the battle at the moment is the battle for the lead between Chris Moses and David Poole, as they're coming up on some more lap traffic. Jaime Moore and John McIntyre on board with David Poole.
Yeah, and I have to think David Poole does have the advantage here. Chris Moses looks strong. The opening stanza there, as it were, but David Poole looks to me to have a bit more pace, and the story holds true that he should have more pace for the end of the season as well, and the end of the race. Now, Chris Moses desperately wants to hold on to this position and the win, because it's 4 extra points that he can nab over Andres Pareto. He doesn't want to give up second place or flawless.
Yeah, I mean, we're watching that. Moses really sliding the rear of that BMW around, lighting them up on exits. And, man, he's got to be cringing that, clamping down on that wheel as he sees Jaime Moore trying to make a pass on John McIntyre up ahead. He was pulling out really tucked in behind Chris Moses as these guys make their way down the light straight.
Looks like you won't get the pass done in this corner. I'll give you a real quick update here. Matt Taylor excuse me, John Houston has gotten past Marty Urin, and John Houston now challenging Matt Taylor actually for 5th through the final corner.
Lap car with Cadillac. Ooh, Jaime Moore taking it off. That's one way to let him pass. Jaime Moore, that's he's a guy that, you know, if Team Columbia knew he's wanted to have a chance at that team championship, he really needed to get a result from him tonight. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
Well, he's had some connection problems here really crop up for him the last couple of weeks. Word around the paddock is that he has got that sorted, so hopefully for our last couple of events here, that'll be sorted. They'll be able to make a strong run here at that championship.
So Moses gets by McIntyre, as is David Poole. Yeah, from what I've seen, it's been pretty nice. So I know Andres is working with him, got them all straightened out there. So.
Yeah, good news. So if I'm seeing things right here, was it gotten through Marty Urin and John Houston, or have those guys caught up to Matt Taylor?
Yeah, looks like those guys have caught up to Taylor.
And then Connor got lost to some of the battles we've been watching here, but Connor Swain is... So he's running 8th now after the pit stop rotation.
Parsons 9th, Tulapur up to 10th, and Monroy back at 11th. Myers back there at 12th as well. So Myers having a good run. Yeah, looks like Taylor might be struggling here in this second stint.
Yeah, looks like maybe he is holding up John Houston just a little bit. After that pass on Marty Urin, you would have figured John Houston would be able to pull away a little bit, but that hasn't been the case, so that battle's still on.
Gap between Trussler and Moses is 8 seconds. So Trussler, he has to pit, so once he does, he's going to give up that position. Interesting strategy here, Brad. Wouldn't expect anybody to double stint this.
Well, it's not a particularly short pit lane. If he can get in and out within a minute, then he's going to come out somewhere around 12th, still solid points. Yeah, I don't know. To look at it, he's given up 7 seconds after the pit stop, Moses and Poole pit stop, and everything cycled through. That's not that bad, I guess, but that's a heck of a chance running low 31s. His times are consistent, I'll give him that.
Prieto pretty much on his own at the moment. But, 42 seconds behind the leader.
Yeah.
Pretty quiet run for him.
It has, but you know what? But that's actually pretty good for him. Championship leader, he's just kind of kept his nose clean, found himself a nice quiet spot to take some laps in, and hey, that's a good run. 40 kilograms and a nice, easy run to third. I'll take that any day.
Houston takes it a bit wide, but Raleigh takes it. Swain takes it wide. Feeling the heat from Aaron Parsons coming strong. So Parsons now tucked up underneath Connor Swain.
Yeah, and after that mistake that Aaron Parsons had, whatever it was, we didn't catch it, fell back to the field. He is looking for some positions, and he's actually running out of time. He was all the way up there to 5th, remember, before that mistake. So still a few positions yet to gain back.
Yeah, running as high as 3rd early in this race before a mistake on the exit 1, but allowing Prieto pass and another big slide there on exit. So I'll tell you what, Brad. A lot of people not very high on this track. In fact, not a very popular track at all among some of the drivers here. But as is usually the case, as Parsons has a look on the inside of Swain. Oh, he caught too much curve and loses it. Lost that momentum. So as is always the case here, some of these tracks that tend to be not so popular always make for a great race.
Personally, I like the challenge of the track. I'm not going to say it's my favorite, but I always enjoy driving here, and the challenge is to be able to get toward the edge and stay consistent without making one of those mistakes. Really, there's a lot of places that can catch you out around here. We've seen it before. The curbs are deadly, and I tell you, these guys are doing a great job, none more so than at the front. Those times have really come down. Those guys setting their best laps here the entire event, just the last couple laps.
Chris Moses has stretched the gap just slightly over David Poole. Not as close as he was in previous laps, but these guys are quickly catching up to Mike Trusser, who is leading this race. So I think now is a good time for Trusser to bring it in. Yeah, I would say so. That's somebody dropped it. It's a pretty good indication of when to come in or when the leaders are coming up on you if you're on that double stint. A couple guys dropping here late. Yeah, make that 3.
Uh-oh, who are we losing here? I wonder if maybe there was some type of freakish toward the back or something, Al, that...
I saw Lou parked in the infield somewhere. So, yep, Trusser brings it in. Trusser's in. Let's see if he's going to double stint this thing.
Oh, and Poole actually looking for an opportunity into turn 1. Couldn't quite make it work.
He's away, double stinting. Wow. Wouldn't think anybody would try it, but Trusser's going to do it.
He's going to come out a little better than I thought he might, Al. Let's see, he might slot around 10th or even better. Yeah, he's going to come out in pretty good shape, so we'll see what kind of times he can manage to run here. He's going to be in a lot of heated battles here for the last of his laps, Al.
He's going to come out ahead of Matt Taylor. But these guys are going to quickly close the gap on Trusser, but I'll tell you what, Trusser's going to be holding on to that.
Yeah,
it's going to be an interesting fight here at the end.
He got in and out of the pits much quicker than I would have anticipated. So hey, he might have done the research and figured this is the strategy I'm going to make, and I'm really interested to see how it pays off for him.
I mean, it's not a very long pit lane. I mean, for the most part.
It's just the exit. It's such a long exit, you know.
Meanwhile, this
battle
up front still going on here between Moses and Poole. So Moses has taken over the lead after Trusser pitted. So Preto leading Trusser now in 4th. So this is going to work to Trusser's advantage as well. As he gets by some of these lap cars, guys behind him are going to have to contend with.
Yeah.
So this could pay off for Trusser.
Well, 8 laps to go. He's given up. He's going to be giving up about 2 seconds a lap thereabouts. So a decent chunk of time, but he's got some time in hand. And as you say, those guys behind will have to contend with that lap traffic.
This battle for 5th has remained unchanged between Taylor, Houston, and Uren. Parsons has gotten by Swain. We saw that. Swain now under pressure from Joe LaCour. Joe LaCour was the earliest of the drivers to pit, so actually a pretty good strategy from Joe LaCour. He was pretty far back and elected to pit early and opted for some open track, which paid off for him.
Yeah, and you know, it's interesting. Relatively, what we would consider, I guess, races, but still plenty of strategy to employ these GT2 cars. Get very good fuel mileage. Got a big pit window, and interesting to see what some drivers do.
So Greg Myers has gotten past Juan Monroy for 11th.
Yeah, and Juan Monroy, he's slipped off.
Yeah, I'm curious to find out what happened between Monroy and Parsons, if anything happened at all. But something had to have come about for Monroy to go that far back, fall that far back after his great start.
Yeah, absolutely. That disconnect, by the way, was for John McIntyre. He just popped up on timing and scoring with a motor failure, so that's probably contact with the Armco someplace.
So the temperature not changed. So Palacio now up to 13th after starting from the rear, making a good run. Jerry Keane still in the points. Him and Kurt Chandler have been nose to tail most of this race. And Cuppet. It might have been for Cuppet. He had a great start, and then he's fallen back. He's in the last points paying position. Monahan looting up to 18th. Jaime Moore 19th. Calderon running in 20th. Followed by Rolf. Sol Lung in 22nd. Followed by Wilkerson. Story. That's it. Looks like Kevin Miller checked out. That's it. We had a good run here going. We had 27 guys of the, I believe, 30 that started, but we had a flurry of disconnects here near the end, bro.
Yeah, we sure have, and not sure what happened there, but I can tell you that John Houston has just made the pass on Matt Taylor, and so he's going to try to pull away and get a bit of a gap, but some close action there for those guys, and still Marty Urin not too far off Matt Taylor now, so that battle's still on and lots of traffic.
Yeah, so I don't. Hopefully he saw that pass. Was it a mistake or was it just a?
Nope, he got the job done going there into turn 6, the sharp left-hander, and in the meantime, Mike Trussler is now fallen under
the gaze.
Yeah, the gaze. Thank you, Al. So here we go. That battle has joined. Mike Trussler has about 4 or 5 laps to hang on here. Hanging on for dear life.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough ask for Trussler. Man, if he can come away in the top 10, that'd be a great result. But he's got a slew of cars behind him looking to get by. And Houston not looking very patient.
This is really going to stack up those guys behind too, Al. That's all for positions right behind them. Important positions.
Houston, Taylor loses it. Another costly mistake for Taylor. Big mistake. Those are points right there.
PMR needed those points.
Those are points. Points flushing down the toilet.
Yeah, that's how quickly this place gets you. There is a bump going into that corner, a small one, and so easy to get the braking wrong, and that certainly happened for Matt there.
Look back out front, still Moses hanging on to this lead over David Poole. But the battle right now is for 4th between Trussler, Houston, Marty Urin, and now Aaron Parsons has joined the battle. On board with Parsons.
I had a spinny Mercedes back there.
Get me nervous, Brad, when you do that.
Oh, it was close. Nearly crashed. He had nearly slaughtered himself and a few.
All right, so what's going through Trussler's head right now? He's got a rear view mirror full of 2 Mercedes and a Ferrari looking at this. Ooh, it's Marty! Marty making a late attempt on Houston. Can't get it done. So Marty loses it.
Well,
and that's going to drop Marty down to 12th. Wow.
Well, you got nothing to lose if you're Mike Trussler. I mean, you know they're coming. You've only got a certain amount of pace, so you just hang the sucker out as best you can. Drive it like you stole it until you spin or give up the position, you know.
Wow, just a little bit of breathing room for Trussler. After that bold attempt from Marty. I mean, I see what he was...
about 4 lap.
I mean, I see what he was trying to do. And it can be done. It's just he got braking caught him off there. Got the car turned around. So
yeah, well, as a result of that, you have those fights going on up there. But now it's the battle for 8th through 11th has all come together now. Also, as Matt Taylor has come back.
Ooh, as Houston takes it wide, he's going to let his teammate by. I was just going to bring up team orders here, Brad. We got Parsons vying for a team driver championship. Is Houston going to let him by? And it looks like that's just what happened. Let Parsons go after Trussler.
Yeah, it's hard to say who of that team has the best speed right now. I mean, John Houston has been looking very good here. But, yeah, Aaron Parsons well and truly up there with a chance at points. I got to think you got to get Parsons through.
I just can't believe Trussler's been able to hold on to this position for this long on huge tires.
Yeah, it's been very exciting. Of course, that has stacked them up behind, and they were making mistakes, battling amongst themselves.
So Parsons makes the move on Trussler for 4th. So back out front. Back out front. Chris Moses leading.
That's just what I was going to mention, that battle up front. I think David Poole now here in these last laps does have that tire advantage once again. It's swinging into his favor, and this is going to be his best opportunity, but I am very impressed with the job Chris Moses has done. I guess I shouldn't be because he's so good, of course, but he has withstand some, been very cool here under this intense pressure.
Here, I think this is going to go 39.
Oh.
Lap. This might be the last lap here, so we're going to hang on to these guys till the end. Well, just a quick look real back, right quick at Trussler.
Yeah, giving up 1 spot to Parson.
You know, even if he gave up that spot to Houston at the end there, still a great job from Trussler if he can hang on.
Yep.
As we watch this battle here between the 2 leaders, Moses and David Poole. And David Poole having a look on the inside of Chris. Just can't get close enough. Looks like we're gonna have one more. Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got one more lap.
So John Houston has gotten past Mike Trussler. Trussler has about a 2.5-second lead over Ian Jolicoeur.
Oh, great run for Ian.
Yeah.
Ian up to 7th. Swain holding off Matt Taylor, and Greg Myers now on the back of Matt Taylor. But the story right now is Moses holding off David Poole this entire race. His gap has remained unchanged.
Yeah, and it looks like, sorry, Al, it looks like David Poole is going to come up just a little short. I don't see him making the pass at this point unless Chris Moses makes a mistake coming through a couple of final corners.
Looks like that pass in the first lap really Sealed the deal for Moses. These guys running similar lap times.
Really reminds me of the battle we had in our Race of Champions there with Wyatt Gooden and Alex White, of course. Those guys running nose to tail just like this for the same race distance. A very similar situation here with these.
Come to the line, Chris Moses, there he is. He's going to take the win at Anderstorp. David Poole's going to finish second.
Under sprinter out of fuel out.
Unbelievable. Unreal. That moves Parsons to third, Houston to fourth. Now Trussell's going to challenge Houston. What is going on here?
I don't know. I assume Andres must have made a mistake because he had a big gap. Could have been lap traffic. Who knows? But in any event, those are important points
that
for those Mercedes
huge.
up in front.
That is huge for the point standings, especially for Moses and Parsons. So Parsons going to finish in third. Trussler, can he hang on to that fifth? Looks like he's going to do it. Parsons gave up the position to Houston. So Houston takes third. Wow. Trussler finishes fourth. I'm sorry, fifth. That's it. Wow, really tight finish here at the end. 11th, Marty Monroy, 12th, Uren. Palacios going to finish in the points in 13th. Jared Keene's going to finish in the points. Yeah, good job for Jared, as is Curtis. Last car in the points is Cuppet in 16th. So your finishing order: Moses, Poole, Houston, Parsons, Trussler. Amazing job by Trussler. Pareto, Jolicoeur, Taylor, Myers, and Swain, your top 10. Chris Moses, do you copy?
Yes, sir. I sure do.
Alan Brad here in the broadcast booth. Wow, what a great race there tonight between you and David Poole. You guys pretty much separated by under a second for the entire race. Got to ask you, that move in the first lap really really a big move, a big key to this race. That pass you made on David into turn 4 gave you that position. You hung on to that till the end of the race. Amazing. Great job in the pits, both you guys. What a great night of racing for you guys.
Wow, you know, my hands are numb from white knuckling it for an hour, but yeah, he had a little bobble coming out of turn 3 on the opening lap, and I was able to get alongside of him, so I knew that was as good a time as any to make a move. And I wanted to be in clear air, because protecting the front tire is really important with this car and this track, so you got to run it really loose and try not to wear out that left front tire. So being in clear air really helped me for a while there, but yeah, it was a dogfight the whole way, man.
Yeah, well, congratulations. It was a pretty intense battle the whole way through, and you know, it seemed to me in that first stint you did have man, some pretty good pace, pulled a bit of a gap, but then David Poole seemed to bring it back. And watching that second stint after the pit stop rotation there, it seemed like David Poole had a pretty big advantage because he was so close, and then I figured, well, he'd be coming up with a little bit better pace late in the stint, but now I think about it, maybe you were saving tires just a little bit there, so you had a little extra at the end, Chris.
Yeah, that was definitely part of it, and actually I wanted him close to me in the sweepers so he could wear out more tires, so at the end I'd be equal. I knew he'd get better tire wear than me anyway, but just that first stint I just was a little too tentative. I had to get the rear of the car sliding to keep it balanced throughout the stint, and it just wasn't doing that, so I pitted early. And I tried to change up my driving style a little bit so the car was still free at the end of the race, and it was actually pretty good. It might have been actually a little better than his car right at the end of the race, but mostly because he had to follow me for so long.
Well, big dramatic turn of events there in the last lap. Not sure if you even noticed or realized this, but Preto, who was running third, fell back all the way to fifth. Yeah, fifth, I believe. Not sure if that was a weight gamble or what, but we didn't catch it on the broadcast if you made a mistake or what. But these guys playing the weight game going into the final race. You picked up some points on Preto and on Parsons for the team for the driver championship. Chris, how do you feel going into the final round at Spa?
I tell you, I've just been clawing all season. This car is just a tough car, and fighting, doing as best as I can all season, and I finally get a win. I think I'm actually in the points lead because I think Preto dropped to 6th, so I might have a point on him or two, and then pull a little gap on Ezra. Those guys, I'm going to be in pretty big trouble at Spa with 50 kilos and not a good downforce car, but you never know. Get some weather, stay close. It's a long race, so I'm going into the three of us are going into the last race. Bare knuckle and see how it turns out.
Well, good luck at Spa next week, and congratulations on a great run tonight. Tremendous job. Both you and Poole drove extremely well.
Yeah, it's never easy, man. I thought I had a winner, and then I saw how good Poole was going, and it turned into a two-man show, and it was my absolute A game to hold him off. He did a great job. It was a lot of fun.
All right, well, thank you, and good luck next week.
Thank you. I need.
All right, Brad, and some astute observation by one of our viewers mentioning that perhaps Parsons let Houston by to save weight, so not to carry any weight into Spa, and Preto doing the same to drop some weight heading into Spa.
You know, I don't know if these guys have been taking classes from me or something. I've never known those guys to ever consider weight before, especially Andres. I suppose it's possible. Eza, it certainly looked the case for Eza, yes, but it's a little surprising that he would do that. And for Andres, I don't think there's any way he would ever consider trading weight for points. So, but in any event, it's gonna shake up the points quite a bit, and it is definitely going to be a battle out there at Spa. I was taking a look at the points a little bit, and let's see. So it's going to be PMR, I think, up there in the top slot, or very close to 05 Motorsport, with John Luden not quite getting as many points as that team would like tonight. So it's all on the line next event, Al.
Yeah, and it's going to be a great final round at Spa. Well, next Monday, we'll be at Spa for Super Pole for the final round, which is a 2-hour finale 2 weeks from tonight. So hopefully you guys can tune in next week for that. Until then, we will be at Macau for the Assetto Corsa Thursday Night League, which should be a great night of racing. Yeah, so look forward to that, Brad. And till then, we'll see you all next week. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Brad.